My lords, my ladies, and my lovelies, I'm Kris Sihto. Welcome to Varthien. Now, I promised this week to talk about Petunia. Now, Petunia is a character from this book, Dragon Silver Wizard Gold, available on Amazon. Now, I am going to talk about Petunia. Excuse my sounds here in the room. But I can't speak about her as a character before I discuss what dragons actually are in Varthien. I've always been fascinated by dragons, like Western dragons, Eastern dragons, ones that can talk, ones that can't. I've pondered the motivations of dragons since I was a teenager. I was absolutely obsessed with them. I read as many authors as I could that were talking about dragons. I wanted to know, why does a dragon hoard gold? Why do they have this strange relationship with princesses? Why do knights set out to kill dragons other than for clout? And so on. These things became drivers for how I built Varthien's dragons. You can't just open a D&D monster manual and find something equivalent here. Like, these dragons are their own thing. I have kept some of the mythology from mostly Western tradition so that they are still recognizable for what they are, but I have changed a lot of things. Now, the first difference that people will notice is that Varthien dragons are metallivores. I could never work out why dragons hoarded treasure. It just seemed nonsensical. So this was the answer for me. They collected gold because they eat it along with other metals. And this causes its own issues in the series, in the planet. But there are plans to address this in later books. So I'm not going to go into huge amounts of depth on that. But you should know that dragons are not native to Varthien. They are alien. It's just that they've been here for a very, very long time. I've also altered the birth physiology of dragons somewhat. So dragons may seem to be oviparous, but it's not one creature per egg. It's multitudes. The egg in this instance is more like a maturation device than anything else, with wormlings becoming aware before they've been hatched or even before the egg itself has been laid. Now that we have that out of the way, Petunia is a dragon, if you didn't already figure that one out. On the day that she is hatched, something horrific happens. All of the siblings she grew with are killed, and she's removed from her mother, only to be rescued by Peter, which leads her into the story. So we see her in the very earliest days of her life, where she's less than 10 centimeters long. And in the later timelines, we see her when she's 8 years old, a toddler as far as dragons are concerned. And we can actually see her here on this book, the cover. I did the artwork myself, but this is what she looks like at 8 years old. So she's still very small. And she's highly dependent on Peter. But Peter at times is treating her almost like an adult, because he's grown up with her. He understands her. She has very good language because the dragons in Varthien are all, they have eidetic memories. So she's picked up language very, very early. And so even though she's still so immature, Peter starts treating her like a peer, because he's been around her for as long as he can remember, really. So he treats her almost like an adult, but her logic is rudimentary and her emotional regulation is very questionable. Um, and so when she's talking to Peter, like in the very early stages of the book, she's relying very much on emotion and the bad things that have happened in her past, that she's then like believing like influences what's happening right now. Um, so Peter is following her as if she were an adult, when really she's more like, 2 or 3 year old person trying to say, hey, we've got to do this because this person did something bad to me and this other bad thing has happened. So it must be this person who did something bad to me. However, she is capable of the same levels of generosity as you would expect from a compassionate toddler, somebody who has just seen something bad happen to somebody else. So they will give you their toy to make you feel better. She is acquisitive. She is easily distracted. But when she's dealing with Felicity, you see that she is trying to be that person that can give things to make things better. So she gives up her most precious thing. Now, you don't actually see as much of Petunia's character in the first book as you are going to see in the second book. In the second book, we get a larger amount of dialogue from her, and you will be able to see more how sassy she is, how unrestrained and how full of joy she is. She is one of those kids that you have just walk up to you in the shopping center and go, hey, what you're doing right now, you're doing that wrong. I know. And you should do it this way because that will be better. And yeah, those sort of kids that are just joy and love, and they want to make the world right. And that's Petunia in a nutshell. Um, and I really hope that you stick around long enough for the second book. The second book, I am assuming at the moment that it will be out in late September, early October. That's how long I am giving myself to write it. So you should have a read of this first book, and the second will be coming very shortly. I'm getting quite well through it at the moment. So I will leave you for today. Be happy, be healthy. I will see you next time. And next time, I'm not quite certain what we'll be talking about, but maybe we'll talk about, actual writing practices. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.